So today I'm going to be printing a guitar wall mount. I'm going to 3D print this thing. It's an awesome file. I printed it before. It's very well designed and very useful. You can find it on Thingiverse by searching guitar wall mounts. This is what I printed yesterday. It's a cute dragon. If you'd like to see that video, go ahead and go over to my channel and you'll be able to find that video there. Let's go ahead and get this guy off of here. And then I'm gonna add the guitar mount into my Zortrax slicer here, and there it is. And then we're just gonna go ahead and do an analysis of this model. Like I said, this model is very well constructed, so we're gonna go ahead and see just how well it is constructed. Let's see here. It is 99.9% correct. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it to generate support, but I doubt it does generate any because this model is just so well made that the orientation of it doesn't need any support. I do want this to have a decent amount of infill, so I'm going to go ahead and take that up to 60% just to make sure it's nice and strong, and the layer thickness is going to be 0.39, which is going to make it pretty strong as well. So we'll go ahead and slice this model up, and that's just going to cut it into layers and give the instructions to the 3D printer on how to print this. Looks pretty good, and there is no support material. Like I said, it's going to take about 3 hours to print, and there's all the information for the slicing. And I'm going to go ahead and get my SD card, pop it in there. Then I click export file, name the file, and then add it to my SD card. I'll save it on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag my SD card to the trash can and take it out of my computer. It's kind of tricky to get to because it's in the back of the computer. There we go. Alright, and I'm just going to take that and go stick it in my 3D printer here. Then I'll just select the model I just sliced up here. It's going to be called Guitar Wall Mount Thick, I believe. Yeah, there it is. And I'll just go ahead and select that and get the printer warming up. This will just take a couple minutes to warm up, and once it's ready, I'll go ahead and come back. What a beautiful model. That's sliced real nicely. And here's all the information about the slicing I did in case you missed it. We've got the printer all nice and heated up here, and it's getting ready to get started. So I'm going to turn on my time-lapse camera. If you want to see the time-lapse videos for this 3D print, I'll have the links for that in the description below. And this is just going to go ahead and zero it out, and then it's going to do a nice little purge line right here to make sure the filament's flowing nicely right there. And then it'll go ahead and start on the base layer for the raft. Perfect. And it's just going to go ahead and lay down a nice base layer for the raft. And I'm just going to go ahead and film this for a little bit so you can get an idea of what it looks like. This is a pretty good sized print, and it has a pretty large base, so it's going to need a pretty good sized raft. And it's just going to go back and forth here and some nice lines. And then after it lays down that initial layer, it'll make like I said, a raft on top of it. And then there's going to be a nice micro layer, basically, of air between the raft and the object that you can stick a scraper through, and the object will come right off of the raft. So this is that nice underlying layer that the object is going to lay on top of. And I just love the Zortrax 3D printers for their ability to do this. I've dealt with a lot of different 3D printers, and rafts don't always work out the way you want them to. but this is the smoothest separation from object and raft I've ever dealt with. I really like the plug and play ability of these machines. Like you've seen so far, I just stuck the SD card in, selected the sliced file, and pushed OK, and it's gonna do everything else all by itself. Look at those layers, just beautiful. Here's some pictures of them. Not exactly the best pictures, but here's a little closer of what it looks like. And there's another photo of that initial raft layer. Now it's starting to work on the object itself, the wall mount, and it's looking pretty good. Yeah, this file is just extraordinary. The guy who put this together really knew what he was doing, and I want to thank him, man. You knocked it out of the ballpark with this thing. Here's another photo of the print in progress. Alright, so we got about an hour and 23 minutes left on this print, and it's coming along very nicely. You can see the pretty thick layers on this, and like on models with more detail, like the dragon I did on the last video, I like to do more like thinner layers for my layer heights. But on things like this, where it's actually going to hold some weight, the thicker layer heights actually hold together a little bit better. So I opted for, I think it was a 0.35 layer height on this one, and that's coming along pretty good. Nice blue. Alright, we'll check back in a little bit later. We're almost done. Got about 14 minutes left. And this is what it looks like. It's coming out really nice. And this is one of my favorite prints. I've made quite a few of these. I totally recommend it. It's a good print. It doesn't need any support for the printers that I've printed it on. And I'll show you some guitars that are using this right now. Hey, you know what'd be great is if you took a second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks! Sorry about the crummy lighting, but I've got several guitars up here using this guitar stand, guitar wall mount, and I even resized it for my ukulele because I liked it so much. So I've made several of these. I highly recommend them. You only need, as you can see, 3 screws to screw it into the wall, and it works great. I really like it. All right, so we've got a finished print here. It's looking pretty good. Try and scrape it off one-handed. Just like that, we got another finished product. Very nice. Should hold a guitar very well. Also want to give a quick shout out to the creator of this file. I really like it, and they always come out great, and I just want to say thanks, man. So Roy Torhoff Stad, thanks dude, well done.